Hey there, boys. You know, the world can be a pretty scary place sometimes. You might see a ghost. You might run into N. Robbins. You could forget what comes after the letter O in the alphabet. You could even slip on a ketchup. That's why I'm here to tell you about these true stories that happened. How do I know they're true? It says true in the title. People can't lie on the internet. It's just a fact. So it's true spook story that'll make you pee your bed at night. Thrice. Here we go! This story is told from the perspective of a female. I'm going to post this here because I have no idea where else to post this. This experience has kept me from sleeping for 2 whole days. Actually, the 2 days I stayed awake happened before this incident, but that in no way played a part in this. I'm getting carried away. So, I stayed up for 2 days doing nothing but reading Let's Not Meet stories and other things. And I was starting to run low on Red Bull. I already drank the 7 bottles I had in my apartment, so I was going to get some more. But not too long after I started my journey, I noticed someone walking at least 7 feet behind me. All red flags immediately went up, and I started to repeat my mantra to calm me down. I'm definitely going to die, and there is nothing I can do about it. I looked back, but to my absolute horror, I now saw that the man was only 6 feet and 11 inches away from me. I was practically hyperventilating at this point. I kept glancing over my shoulder to see that the man was still walking. One time, the sick fuck even waved at me. I was pretty much pissing myself by now. In fact, I actually was pissing myself. I heard the man yell, "Jesus Christ, ma'am! Are you doing alright? Should I call an ambulance?" I looked to see the man was standing just less than a foot away from me. This was it. He was going to kill me, and had finally closed in. All the scary stories flew through my head, and I knew that I needed to act now. So I turned around and kicked him as hard as I could in the nuts, and sprinted all the way back to my house, locked the door behind me, and put a chair in front of it. This incident has given me PSAT, or whatever it's called, and I'm working on a book about how I survived such a life-threatening situation. I will be accepting Patreon donations to get me the support I need to get through this. So creepy guy who is probably trying to kidnap or rape or murder me, let's not meet and greet, buddy. I'm just your average high schooler with a less than average life. I've always been able to see and talk to ghosts. I've already helped like 33 ghosts pass on to the next life. But my life is not all sunshine and kawaii neko girls. One time I lived in a house that was owned by very evil and spooky Satanists. I knew this because I'm 51% demon, because my dad is Satan. And I now live with my stupid stepdad who keeps yelling at me for peeing in the sink. Fuck off, I'm 14. I'll do what I want. Anyways, back to the story. My first real encounter with a ghost was when I was in my bathroom. I was standing by the sink finishing up when I happened to glance at the mirror. Instead of seeing my reflection, I saw a face that looked like Miharu from Girls Bravo, but she had red hair, black eyes with red pupils, razor-sharp teeth, and was crying tears of crimson blood. She spoke to me in a demonic anime voice. "Senpai, please touch my boob!" I wanted to touch the boob so bad, but I knew that I would lose my soul if I did. So I hid my nosebleed and tore my gaze from the mirror. Upon looking back, I only saw myself. The second incident was when I was fapping to that one kawaii otaku hamster girl, except in this pic she had a penis. But before I could finish, the ghost showed up again, and this time she was on the screen of my MacBook. I asked her what the hell she wanted from me, an average high school boy. She said she killed her senpai because he was falling in forever love with some baka from their school. And since she was a total kawaii yandere xdll, she sacrificed her senpai to Satan because she was the head of a satanic cult. She then committed Sudoku because 1, her senpai was killed, and 2, Japan. She told me that she wanted me to be her senpai, but I told her that unless she had a very feminine penis... she could just fuck right off. She didn't like this answer, and told me that I was an Orokana Baka desu yo, and tried to attack me. But I pulled out my big Zanapakatoa and destroyed her. So that's my story. I'm not too sure if I really believe it myself. I'm kind of always been a skeptic, so if any of you guys can offer a good explanation to answer what the heck happened, I'd be glad to hear. Also, just for reference, here's a picture of what I look like. Sugoi desu ne. This incident happened to me over a week ago, and it's honestly made me paranoid. To understand this story, you must first understand where I live. I live in a very close-knit town where the crime rate is pretty much 0. I was heading out to my job at the local Applebee's late one night. I ended up leaving the door unlocked because I live in a safe neighborhood. I also left my front door and garage open because I live in a safe neighborhood. I also told every person I could possibly get in contact with where I was going and how long I'd be out, because I live in a safe neighborhood. I ended up leaving Applebee's early because it was a pretty slow day, and I arrived home not long after. Just a few feet away from the entrance of my home, something caught my eye. There was a faint track of muddy boot prints leading to my door. But that made me suspicious. I was wearing Heelys, not boots. And then what I realized next sent shivers down my spine. The boot tracks were heading into the house, and there weren't any tracks heading out. Someone was, and might still be in my house. I proceeded cautiously. My hands and feet trembled like the bad dragon vibrator I kept under my pillow. I immediately headed to my computer room, because that's where I had my gold copy of Undertale 3, Skeleton Dating Sim. I could not afford to lose that because it was a gift given to me by my great aunt, bless her soul. But looking back, I wish they were just taking that, because when I entered the room, I saw something that made my blood turn to ice. I saw a 6-foot-tall figure hunched over my computer, his pasty pale skin illuminated by the screen. He was stealing my memes.
What the fuck do you think you're doing?
I shouted. The man practically jumped out of his skin upon noticing that I was home, and as quick as lightning, he pushed me to the ground and sprinted out into the cold night. Upon checking my entire house, I found that there was nothing else touched but my computer. That's not very comforting. Who knows how many of my memes he stole? how many of my super rare peepees he put out for all the normies to see. It makes me salty just thinking about it. So, meme thief, you better fucking hope we don't meet and greet. I'll rearrange your face, buddy. Come on, pal. Let's go. Let's go now. Yay. What the fuck am I doing with my time?